some summertime, that's nice. Hey, yeah, it's the IDP show, now you know.
Welcome to the IDP show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined in the Sode Shack tonight. On my right, Adam Markham. On my left, Bobby Reynolds. Gentlemen, how are we this evening?
Doing very well. Football's almost here.
Football is almost here, Bobo. By the time you all are hearing this episode, football will be like 3 days away. Chiefs-Lions kicking off the season. Bobo, how you feeling? We're almost there.
A weird game. Weird game to start, you know?
It is interesting seeing the Lions on opening kickoff game. I mean, usually they get the Thanksgiving spotlight, and that feels like the NFL is throwing them a bone, but here they are in prime time.
The Lions feel like they could be a little trapped this year. I don't know what their over-under is, but I might pick a little under for them.
Yeah.
I know they're kind of hot commodity now. Dan Campbell, you know, new pieces, but
Still the Lions. Yeah, you still worry.
Yeah,
100%.
it's like, but they still got that stink. I think that stadium is still buried on like a burial ground of some point.
sorry to you 3 Lions fans that are listening.
I actually know a decent amount of Lions fans.
Okay,
yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
How are they feeling? Are they fired up for this season?
I think they're more excited than they've been in a long time.
And they should be. I
My
think
boy
that
Tommy's
teams-
fired up.
Yeah.
I worry, kind of like the Geno Smith, I worry about Jared Goff turning back into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see if he's the
I think
same
he's solid.
Goff.
I think he's a little slept on. I think Goff's going to be fine.
I think if he's the same Goff he was last year, that team's fantasy relevant. That team's in the mix for the North.
If the Rams had not won the Super Bowl, do they regret that trade?
Well, no, probably not, because I still think Stafford's an upgrade.
Probably
you know?
so. I think they do, because if you don't have a Super Bowl and, like, you know, and now you look at it, and if it still turned out the same way with Stafford's health, you got a quarterback with a bum arm and
Yeah, if the team, I guess it's like, what's the alternative if it was no Super Bowl? Like if it was just they're a 5-win team that season instead of a Super Bowl,
and they're in cap hell.
Yeah, you're mega bummed. But if it's like, oh, we got so close, we made the playoffs, you know.
That's a good point.
Then, you know.
We traded a lot of picks in that trade.
Yeah.
You know, there was several firsts involved, I feel like.
It was like you had to land that plane. You had to get that Super Bowl. Otherwise, it did feel a little fraught.
There was a Belichick quote today, too, about that, about teams going all the way in, you know, for a window. And, like, it's not, you can't, you know, sustain success.
It's 32 teams.
Bro,
like, it's really hard.
It's the same in Dynasty, really. You
Yeah,
see a lot of people sell everything, sell the farm, and then they've got
one.
They think they've got a 1 or 2 year window, and then they're just hot garbage after that.
Yep.
It's pretty tough, man.
Yep.
Pretty tough.
So tonight, as we approach the dawn of a new NFL season, as is tradition at this point, we are going to spend the run-up to Week 1 planting some flags, boys. The flag plant episode is one of my favorites every season because, you know, like a hitter in baseball, you're just trying to go like 1 for 3. You're trying to get that 333 average.
Sure.
So I think, Addy, you might actually have a little bit different formula this year, though, for the flag plants.
Yeah, I got 2 flag plants, and then we got a lot of little tiny flags.
Little tiny, like when you're doing the dog
Baby
electric
flags.
fence, you know, you're putting them
Baby
down in the
flags.
yard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's just
he's choking early.
Well, we were losing them already. Oh, let's get some beer down
Force
the gullet.
it down.
Yeah.
Force it down.
There we go. Just it's a sign that we are recording that Adam is choking to death.
Check out the YouTubes as well. We're well lit tonight.
Beautiful. This is as bright as you're ever going to see this room. Because I don't know that we can squeeze any more power out of these outlets. It is like a Christmas vacation, Christmas light situation.
I was thinking about the other night. Christmas time, we're going to have to throw a little rope light up.
Yes, that'd
a
be
little
fun.
festive.
That'd be fun. Get some string
icicles
lights
hanging down.
That might actually be cool. Yeah, just like right along the top. Just get some string lights. It's like a little cafe feel in here.
Stockings.
Maybe get
Some
2 big
stockings.
Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Put them on both
Just
sides
right
of you.
here. Let them be my co-host for the day. So what we're going to do in this episode, we are just going to plant some flags. We're going to go around the table, and we're going to give our guys that we are essentially saying, these are our dudes for 2023. We feel so confident in these guys that we are putting our stamp of approval on them and putting some sort of barometer of success. We're not just saying, I like this guy more than others. We are saying this is how much we like these guys. We are willing to put a end of year finish or some sort of qualifier on their performance. So we're going to go around the horn. But before we do, just a couple quick bits of housekeeping for you all. Want to say thanks to everyone who purchased the IDP Show draft kit this season. We blew past our initial goals. I think within like the first 2 or 3 weeks, we were already like well past the goal that I had set for sales of that product. So thank you all. And we even had like a pie in the sky goal for that. It's like, okay, we're probably not going to reach this one. We hit that one as well.
Yep.
So thank you all so much for making that such a huge success in year one. And thank you to all the contributors that helped make it possible. But hopefully it sets you up for success with your drafts this year and laid that foundation for your team. So just thank you all for the support and the love on the inaugural year of the IDP Show Draft Kit.
Yeah, truly. If it weren't for you guys, if it weren't for the listeners, people who reach out and engage, people who've jumped in these best balls. I mean, we all got good bros. We have all got, people in here who jump on the show with us. But if it weren't for the listeners, if it weren't for the people who are actually going out there and purchasing the draft kit, none of us would be here. Myself, Adam, Josh, just really want to thank you guys. It's an awesome blessing. It's been really cool seeing how this has grown, not only over the 4 years, but as we've continued to, have new ideas and jump off kind of with new endeavors and new ranks and new draft kits and doing different things. You guys have been, locked arm with us the whole way, and it's really a privilege to do this with you guys and for you guys. So here for it.
Best listeners in the world.
That's right.
It's been cool. We've been growing kind of a little community lately. That's really been I don't know. There's something that we've just with the best balls and everything. That's just kind of how it's been lately, and it's been cool to see. We've got a lot of people that are lending a hand and helping us out, and yeah, expect to get better. This is just year one. We're going to keep getting better. That's just the way we do things.
Yep, the draft kit will be a staple from here on out. If you are a paid supporter at theidpshow.com, you're going to have that thing May 1st every year, and it's going to be the best in class draft kit for IDP. Now, if you're a paid supporter, you may think, all right, draft season's over. I can unplug. I can shut down the paid support. But we just want to point out some of the resources that are going to be available during the regular season, because we got y'all during draft time. We got you during the season as well. In addition to, I think I mapped it out. We have like 21 pieces of content coming out every single week across all of our channels. And for our paid supporters, you're going to get all those pieces of content, but just for you, you are going to have Jace's weekly rankings. This is a new feature we're offering this year. They're going to be broken out sleeper style, DL, LB, and DB, but also by true position. So no matter what type of league you play in, we've got you covered. Those are going to drop on Tuesday, and Jace will have a podcast episode discussing those rankings as well. So look forward to that. We mentioned it before, the Q&A thread. You got start-sit questions. Jake and Evan will answer them live on the preview podcast each week. We have the waiver wire article from Jeff that is the first to market Monday night. You're going to get a jump start on your waivers thanks to Boo Bam. And then, of course, you have year-round access to Adam's Dynasty rankings. So don't unplug, don't check out. Keep that paid support, because we're going to give you the best possible resources to not only help draft your team, but win your leagues, Addy.
Yeah, and we'll have a bunch of data in there too. Like you guys, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you hear the nuggets that we drop constantly. You will have access to all those nuggets before you hear them on the show, because that's where we get them from. We get them from breaking down all these player logs, and then we fill in the stats. So there's a lot of resources and info out there for you to dig into.
Yeah. So check it out. This is the run-up to week one. By the time you're hearing this, those rankings, they're going to be going live here this week. And the Q&A thread's going to be going out. We'll have the waiver wire article starting week 2. And then, like I mentioned, you already have access to Adam's Dynasty ranks. Those aren't going anywhere. So self-promo done. Just stick with us, theidpshow.com. But boys, let's plant some flags. And Bobo, why don't you kick us off? Who is your first flag plant for 2023?
Let me read you a little story here.
Okay.
Entering his 6th season in the NFL, this edge defender is one of the most slept-on assets in all of IDP. He is still yet to be extended by his team entering the final year of his rookie deal. He has amassed 29 total sacks through his first 4 years in the league. He has never seen a year with less than 5 sacks, but has also never seen a year with more than 9. He has a combined 165 total tackles through his first 4 years, giving him an average of 42 tackles per year for a defensive end. In our best ball draft ADP through this year, he is currently going as the edge 24 and the DL 35, and that's through 75 best ball drafts that we've done, while finishing as the edge 11 in Big 3 scoring in 2022. So going into the 2023 season, he is continuing to play alongside one of the best defensive lines in the league. He has a well above average defensive tackle, 2 defensive tackles that play alongside him, who have either been franchise tag or have been extended in prior years.
Okay, I think I know who this is.
He has done all this while the public perception still doesn't see him as the number 1 edge on his team. There's an edge taken from the same team who is being drafted as the edge 19 and the DL 25, who only has 1.5 sacks in the last 2 years. With the apparent increase in offensive production coming in 2023, with several key additions to the coaching staff, ownership, and roster, the ability for this player to rush more often with a lead is very possible. Given the alignment of stars, with contract negotiations coming up, coaching additions, and continued solid play through 4 seasons, I believe that his first double-digit sack season is coming for my sweaty boy, Montez Sweat.
There we go. Montez Sweat. We should have known because Baba was low-key drafting some sweaty boys in these best balls. I think you actually stacked the sweaty bros.
I got some sweaty boys
in IDP Madness. So this is your first one. Montez Sweat, double-digit sacks for 2023.
You got it.
I love it.
You got it.
I think he's being severely underrated and truly one of the best values in all of IDP right now.
Yep, totally agree.
I can't believe they haven't extended him. You know, I would think that they didn't take Chase Young's 5th-year option. They haven't given him a new contract. I think maybe he was a first rounder, so they did give him this 5th year, which actually goes into this season. But, you know, you've got Deron Payne, you've got Jonathan Allen. Deron was the franchise tag. Jonathan Allen got extended, I believe. So they've got some money that they've passed out there, and Montez Sweat has played really, really well, light years better than Chase Young. It's just amazing to me that he hasn't had a double-digit sack season yet, and it's also still amazing to see how high Chase Young is being taken in these drafts.
Yeah, so I wanted to look it up. He's been in the league since 2019, so he's going into year 5.
Yep.
And he will be a UFA in 2024.
Yep.
So, he's got a 4-year deal. It looks like they exercised the $11.5 million option for 2023 in April of last year. So I think they get a deal done with Montez Sweat because I don't think Chase Young is long for this team. But you've already prioritized paying Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, so do you have the money? Now, if you hit on Sam Howell, you don't have to pay a quarterback. Yeah, so that definitely helps.
Also, what does Montez Sweat cost for the Commanders, you know? I mean, I agree. I think he's really good. I think he's really slept on. But, I mean, is he going to – what kind of money is he wanting? Is he wanting, like –
He might want some money.
He might want, like,
26 years old.
Exactly.
It's all kind of expensive right there in that expensive window.
And do you like him that much?
That's a good point.
You know?
I was looking what the other sweaty bro got. He got a 3-year, $40 million contract with a $10 million signing bonus. This was in 2021.
So Josh was probably 28 about then. I think he was a year or two older probably.
He was 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in 2021 when he signed the deal. He's 26 right now.
Oh, my gosh.
He's younger than you think. He's younger than you think.
Wow.
26.4 for Josh Sweat.
Yeah, so I think Montez probably is going to want 3 years, at least $20 million a year. Yeah. I think you could see upwards of like 25 even. So I think somewhere in that $60 to $75 million range.
And I think he's probably worth that.
I think so. Because
you've just got a lot invested already on that defensive.
You
line.
do.
Good call.
But if that's your strength, and again, if you don't have to pay a quarterback.
Gosh, but who are you paying offensively besides Terry? Johan's on a young deal.
They got some offensive linemen.
2 young rookie, young running backs. I guess some offensive linemen, yeah. But that's a good point, Adam. I mean, I don't know. They might not want to. It might be
a lot of good edge rushers out there.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so the edge rusher contracts, I'm looking to see.
Yep.
The
That's
highest.
actually where I thought you were going.
Really?
I thought you were going Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
The highest contracts per year, average per year for edge rushers. TJ Watt leads the market, $28 million. 27 for Bosa, Myles Garrett 25, Khalil Mack 23.5, Max Crosby 23.5. So I could see him wanting to slot in somewhere around like Von Miller was 20, Trey Hendrickson 21. I could see him wanting Trey Hendrickson money. Like, give me Trey Hendrickson money.
Somebody will pay him, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so
Somebody
too.
will
I mean,
Oh,
he's in his prime right now. And also, don't forget, I mean, this guy was 6'5", 260 pounds, 36-inch arms, 4'4", 140, 9.90 RAS score. The PFF grade was 86.4 last year. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff trending in the right direction. And again, he's 27. He should be entering into the prime of his career. So I like that.
I like it. All right, Addy, your first flag plant for 2023. Who you got?
Denzel Perryman.
Oh, yes. We knew this one was coming.
I'm calling Denzel Perryman to have a career year. I think he finishes top 12 in points per game.
Okay, then.
I would have done finish, but Perryman does kind of struggle with health. That's been a thing with him lately. So we're going to focus on points per game with him. But last year, he played 555 snaps. That was a 70% snap share. He racked up 83 tackles, 14 TFLs, 1 sack, and 2 PDs. That was a 15% tackle rate. He averaged 14.3 points per game. That was LB 14. 74.2 overall PFF grade. That was 18th among linebackers. 80.5 run defense grade. That was 12th among linebackers. In 2021, he piled up 154 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections. He played 863 snaps. That was 83% snap share. That was a 17.8% tackle rate.
Ooh, boy.
14 points per game. That was LB 13. 62.3 overall PFF grade. 68.0 run defense grade. He has a career tackle rate of 16.2%. Career. So 586 career tackles. That's 3,622 career snaps. 16.2 career.
That is
tackle
really
rate.
high. Anything above like 12.5, 13 is really strong.
This guy racks up the tackles. He's done it his entire career. The issue has been him staying healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's done much better of that as of late. And also he's an actual good linebacker. I mean, he's getting opportunities because he's good. He's a proven vet. And there's a reason why D'Amico Ryans went out and sought after a guy like Denzel Perryman.
Yep.
So
he wanted someone to pair, I think, with Christian Harris.
Yeah.
Kind of the stable vet along with the up-and-coming rookie
Did
or
Corey
second-year
Littleton
guy.
get cut?
I don't know.
I think maybe
We should
they waived
mention
him.
Christian
I'll look and
Kirksey
see.
cut, so the competition has thinned out a little bit there. It's very clearly Denzel Perryman, Christian Harris,
right.
and
But the ADP for Perryman all off season.
Yeah.
Linebacker 50.
wow.
It's
I was
just,
gonna
it's just
ask.
insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
And LB1.
I was looking at
Oh my gosh, Titans releasing Corey Littleton. I'm sorry, Texans releasing Corey Littleton.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they've released Littleton, they've released Kirksey,
Kirksey.
so it's Christian Harris and Denzel Perryman.
Henry 2020.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
So stock up Henry 2020, but stock up Denzel Perryman as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could. I think he's a league-winning type, man.
Yeah.
I really do. And we've already seen him in preseason, like making plays. He's already got a pick, already got a sack.
Yep.
Racking up tackles. I mean, this is the type of linebacker you want on your team, and you can have measure linebacker 3 or 4.
Perryman-
It's just not fair.
You can have him as your back end LB4. He's
Yeah.
LB 46 right now.
Yep.
Perryman
That's
was
wild.
the type in the ADPs with the best balls that never increased.
No.
Like
People never woke up.
The LB1 for a team he's not cracking the top 24. Like what?
Yeah.
Adam thought it was hilarious. It was a good joke. but
He is
I
going to
think it was
die
that good.
on camera, guys. We are going to lose him at some point.
No, but I mean, I love that. I love that for Perryman. I mean, all the stars are kind of aligning for Perryman as well. I mean, you've had a couple good years where you've seen that he can be a producer. You've got him with D'Amico Ryans. There's really, as much as we like Christian Harris and Henry 2020, they're going to take some more time, especially 2020, and then even Harris is going to take some time as well. But, no, man, I mean,
Christian Harris still going ahead of him. LB 42.
dude, Perryman has overall LB1 possibility.
Yep.
I don't want to speak for you,
So
Adam, but-
top 12 points per game, and you're saying that essentially because let's see how the health shakes out.
right. That's the only drawback.
He's
for
got to get his
Perryman.
health under control,
Yeah.
as we like to say.
But points per game, I mean, that's what we're really focused on.
Yep.
That's what matters. So if he's a top 12 points per game,
Yep.
I mean, you got
Because you can
yourself-
always replace him,
Yes.
right? I mean, that's the thing. Would it suck in
If
best
he goes
ball?
down, it'll be Henry 202.
Yeah, you just plug in 2020.
You got some sucker who has Perryman and doesn't listen to the IDP show. What could you go get Perryman for right now?
Oh my God.
I was thinking that too. Probably like
A fourth?
at most a third, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah,
most a
yeah.
third. I think you could get him for a fourth.
I feel like if someone has that in their inbox, you're like, well, I got to do this, right?
Yeah, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
a pick. I can replace Perryman
Perryman?
with a fourth.
He's
Yeah.
still playing?
Yeah,
I
you
think that's
can.
a pretty savvy move. You
Yeah.
know, if you have like a 2-year window, like go get this cheap LB1
Because you know Perryman, if he's healthy, is going to hit. Who knows? The hit rate of fourth rounders, I mean, 25, 30% probably.
And as long as the health stays there, you can pretty much bank on him getting a ton of snaps for 2 seasons. We all kind of see that the young guys are coming there, but it's not going to take just 1 year in
And
Texas.
It's also not like highly drafted. It's not Jack Campbell.
Yeah, exactly.
Drew Sanders breathing
Exactly.
down their neck, right?
Yeah, it's third round Christian Harris, who had a
Yeah, exactly.
28.0
Yeah.
PFF grade.
Maybe
last
the
year.
worst PFF
Yeah.
grade by any rookie linebacker ever. That'd be a fun thing to look up. We need
Sure.
to get John on the horn. See who's the worst rookie linebacker by grade. All right. Well, my first one, gentlemen, I approach this essentially with a best ball lens because for me, planting a flag is about saying, I believe in these guys so much that I'm going to draft them. I'm going to put an investment into these guys. So I looked at my best ball exposure and picked out players that I had high exposure to and then figured out what kind of finish or qualifier do I want to put on these guys. So let's start with a linebacker we've talked about a lot on this show, Devondre Campbell, top 12 LB. So I went with finishes for the season, which is always fraught because these guys could get hurt. But let's just live in the world for a little bit where everyone stays healthy. So Devondre Campbell, top 12 linebacker. Let me make the case. This one is simple. Boys, the last time we saw a healthy Campbell was in 2021. He finished as LB6 by Big Three scoring. He played 91.5% of the snaps that year. Last year, he missed 4 games with a knee sprain he suffered in week 8. What point per game average do you need to crack the top 12? I think it's important to kind of set the context here. So if you look at it, 2022, CJ Mosley was LB12, 13.5. 2021, Deion Jones, funny how quickly things change, 13.6. Foye was actually LB12 in 2020, 15.1. He had some boom games in there that kind of elevated that average. 2019, Blake Martinez, 13.9. So points per game wise, you have to be somewhere in that 13.5 to 14 point per game to finish inside the top 12. Campbell averaged 15.3 points per game in 2021 and 12.1 in 2022. Shout out Addy for having that in the Dino ranks. Made it easy for me. So this call is not dependent upon Campbell returning to his 2021 form. He doesn't have to hit 15.3 points per game. Just a little bit better than he was in an injury-riddled 2022. It is worth noting that through 7 weeks, so before the injury, he was averaging 15.7 points per game. The 40 burger in week 7 definitely helped. But look at what we've seen this preseason, right? Because there is some concerns with Quay Walker. But Campbell received the starter treatment in the preseason. He's healthy, and it remains to be seen whether he'll be wearing the dot or Quay Walker will. If Campbell does get the dot, I think that just helps bolster his case to finish top 12. But even if he doesn't, I expect him to play 90+% of the snaps. And then Green Bay, let's look at the team situation. Green Bay is an above average in tackle efficiency, 13th according to John Macri, which is just another feather in the cap for my favorite linebacker target, 2023, Devondre Campbell, top 12 LB. What do you boys think?
Addy?
Spicy.
It is spicy.
Spicy. I like it. I like it. I do like Quay Walker quite a bit this year, though.
So Devondre Campbell, I just wanted to give the updated ADP LB25.
Yeah, man, that's silly.
Especially when you look at, it's just been hard to draft Quay because you're looking at LB10.
Right. I agree. I don't want to draft him, but I could see him
Setting aside the ADP.
I could see him blowing up.
Yeah,
you know?
I honestly could see both guys finishing inside the top 12.
Yeah.
I really could.
And if you look at the money, Devondre's probably a nice little dynasty grab right now, too, which sounds really awkward because he's a little bit older guy. But if you look at Green Bay's money, they're pretty tied to him, which we've been wrong about in the offseason. I've thought, well, this is probably the last year for Devondre, but I think you can see at least 2 more years of Devondre Campbell in Green Bay through 2024. But No, this is a little spicy because, in everybody's eyes, it's definitely Quay season. But Devondre Campbell has just been that, that solid linebacker there in Green Bay. And, what if Quay doesn't really take a step? That's in the realm of possibilities. I mean, I really think he's going to.
It remains to be seen. Is he going to wear the dot? He wore the dot in preseason. Macri speculated that may have just been because they knew Devondre Campbell was coming out, so just have Quay with the dot so they don't have to switch it. So we'll see. I think if Quay gets the dot, that's a big development for me. But I like both these guys. I think this is like we talked about the Falcons, stacking Caden Ellis and Troy Anderson. Both those guys have great ceilings for 2023. I feel the same way about the Packers.
I agree.
This is a situation where I don't think one has to necessarily diminish the other. But, Quay Walker, top 12. And that's the least spicy of my three takes.
You hear him?
Oh, did I say Quay Walker?
Quay Walker.
Freudian slip.
I agree with that one.
That's the least spicy of my three takes. So, Devondre Campbell, top 12. Bobo, who's up next for you?
All right. Well, after recording 0 stats through the first 2 complete years of his career, he was able to stack up 13 total tackles and 1 sack to go with a fumble recovery in his 3rd season in the NFL. Pretty monumental, right?
Very monumental. The most monumental, you might say.
Entering his 4th year in the NFL, and over the first 8 games of the season, he was able to reach 12 tackles and 1 sack. The man was on a tear, a pace for a total of 24 tackles and 2 sacks to finish his 4th year.
Can you say league winner?
But instead, he finished the 2022 season, weeks 9 through 18, with 62 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles to give him a total of 78 tackles and 7 sacks in 2022.
Boy, I'm struggling on this one.
Going into the 2023 offseason, he saw his team move on from him as they continued to clear the cupboard of multiple aging IDP players. He is now running alongside a relatively young linebacker with the ADP of LB29, who had a wonderful RAS and has a lot of promise for 2023. I'm really looking forward to this LB to take a step in 2023 that will make him a stud, especially in Big 3 scoring, where sacks and big plays are well rewarded. I love the strength of schedule for this team going into this season, as he is going to see 4 rookie quarterbacks in the first 6 weeks. The ceiling is the roof for this player as we go into 2023, and my flag plant for this 24-year-old linebacker will be that he will have 4 sacks by week 8.
All
and
right.
that player is Mr. Caden Ellis.
Caden Ellis. All right. So another one that we should have seen coming, because I know Bobo had heart eyes for Caden Ellis when we were talking about that strength of schedule to start the season.
So 4 sacks in the first 8 weeks. I like it.
I think he could have even more than that. I
Maybe
really do.
somebody would say, well, he had 7 over the last whatever, but sacks aren't that sticky. 4 by week 8 on an 8-sack pace for the season for a linebacker is pretty freaking good.
Could he be their most prolific pass rusher?
It's possible,
I mean,
man.
you look at the
he
other
really
guys
could be.
there, and it's like, man.
There's a lot of smart people on Twitter who are really excited for what Caden Ellis could be this year and how that defense could use him, Troy Anderson, I feel exactly like you just said. I tried not to smile and give it away at all, but Quay Walker, Devondre Campbell kind of give you a little bit of the older vibes of what a Troy Anderson and a Caden Ellis could maybe be here in a couple years. Maybe that Devin White, Levante David kind of feel, where one guy just sits back and racks up the tackles, and the other one, a la Devin White in 2019, I think it was, is able to go get 11 sacks or whatever it was he had. I can't remember that year where Devin White just went ham, but I'm kind of getting some similar thoughts here with Caden Ellis. So I've been grabbing him in a bunch of these best balls. I actually don't think I talked about what Ellis's best ball ADP is. I talked about Troy Anderson being LB29. I know Ellis is not far behind that. I think
33.
Yeah, so
LB 33.
they're both really close.
So they're both rising. They're both
Sure.
rising.
Yeah.
Like they should.
Yep.
But I mean, still, that's great value for both those guys.
Agreed. But they
Yeah.
have a spicy little start to the season. We've talked about it. I think I've written about it in some articles. They get to see Bryce Young. I said rookie quarterback. They get Jordan Love week 2.
Essentially rookie in terms of
Yeah.
his playing experience.
Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, but then they come back home against C.J. Stroud and then Anthony Richardson. So, golly, if you're going to see some upside as far as pass rushing from anybody in the NFL, I really like the way that sets up for Caden Ellis and Troy Anderson for that matter. But
I love what the Falcons did this offseason.
me too.
They had a really, Jesse Bates,
Fun secondary.
Bringing Caden Ellis, got a new DC that did great things in New Orleans. And then, the question mark is that defensive line. You got just kind of like a bunch of odd pieces.
It's rough.
Calais Campbell, Onyemata, what's Arnold Ebiketie, what's Lorenzo Carter going to do?
D'Angelo Malone.
Shout out.
Shout out WKU. I don't think they have the pieces that they want for Ryan Nielsen's defense up front. So I think, Campbell and Onyemata I like because they brought those guys over. But there's no reason not to like Caden Ellis. Just pay attention to the money. Most important resource an NFL team has is how they allocate their
was like a
dollars.
3-year, $22 million.
Yeah, and
basically
it was early
7.
too.
Yeah,
it was
early on in free agency.
because it wasn't just like a 1-year, $10 million deal. Like 3 years says, hey, bud, we got plans for you. We want you to be part of this team.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe no one saw their dynasty stock increase more than Caden Ellis.
Truly.
This offseason.
Yep.
Maybe Ernest Jones.
Ernest Jones, sure, yes.
Ernest Jones, I think we just kind of kept waiting on them to bring
We had him
somebody
high, though,
in.
dude. We had him
That's
high this
true.
whole time.
That's a good call.
He's been a top 25
Bobby
pick for us
Wagner getting
forever.
cut definitely helped.
But we just kept thinking like, well, they're going to bring in a Kirksey. They're going to bring in a Deion Jones. They're going to bring in somebody, and they have brought in nobody. It's insane to me how bad they're going to be. Anyways,
they're so bad.
It's a different conversation.
John Johnson, I've been picking up in the best balls lately.
He's a cornerback in some leagues.
He's
oh my
gonna be
gosh,
good.
what's up with that?
Yeah, he might eat over there. That might be a little resurgence.
We'll talk more about the Rams here in just a second.
I like where your head's at.
All right, Daddy, hit us with your second one.
No, back to me already.
Oh, back to you already.
All right. Justin Reed finishes top 24. I know I was a big Justin Reed fan last year, and I still am, clearly, but he did let us down a little bit. But let's kind of dig into what happened last year. So in 2022, Reed played 53% of the snaps out of the box on the defensive line or in the slot. We call that the sweet spot, folks. He finished with 83 combined tackles, 1 sack, and 7 PDs, and had an overall PFF grade of 73.2, which was 26th best among all safeties. From a fantasy standpoint, this worked out to just 8.1 points per game over the course of the season. So definitely a down year, but how much of that was, the fact that this was his first year on the team and he's still trying to get comfortable with his role? I think quite a bit. So Justin Reed averaged 5.9 points per game from weeks 1 through 14. I mean, that's bust. That's bust territory.
That's some butt as well.
That's very butt. You can sound it. Thank you. We need to use that more, guys. We apologize. We're going to get better about that.
There's another one just for good measure.
Thank you. But listen to what he did weeks 15 through 18. Reed racked up 23 tackles and added a sack for 15.4 points per game. He carried that success into the playoffs, where he added another 20 tackles in 3 games as the Chiefs went on to win the Super Bowl. So you love to see that type of momentum at the end of the year.
Did you have Reed on that team that won our playoff fantasy league?
I think so.
I swear I think you did.
Pretty sure I did.
You monster. You knew.
I think so. But yeah, just great momentum at the end of the year. Now Juan Thornhill is gone. So, I mean, Justin Reed is actually the leader in that safety room, even though he's, this will be his second year there. And all the reports have been that he's been doing a great job embracing that role. So, looking back at the snaps for the preseason, we're just kind of curious what the usage was looking like. I know it's small sample, but out of the 35 snaps he's played this preseason, 14 have come in the box, 11 at free safety, 5 at slot, 2 on the line, and 3 out wide at corner. So that is 60% of the snaps in the sweet spot.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that led all of their top safeties, Mike Edwards, Brian Cook. So I think, the guy that's getting the favorable usage is going to be Justin Reed. And I just think he's going to be more comfortable with his role and everything. So I'm predicting a 100 tackle season and a top 24 finish.
All right. I like it. Hey, safety 42, DB 60 overall.
DB 60, wow.
Yeah, right ahead of like Rodney Thomas. So we're talking like ADP got him buried. Yeah. I think some people are burned, but that feels like the right time to kind of step in and buy Bobo, because public opinion is so low. And looking at the end of the season finish, I think that's really important, because the end of the fantasy playoffs is not the end of the season. It's not the most recent action we've seen from these guys. I mean, the playoff stats alone for Justin Reed, that was an eyebrow raiser for me.
1,000%. That's 100% right, Josh. 100% and 1,000%. So 1,000.
Somewhere, there you
right.
go, 1,100% right.
How about those Chiefs on Twitter? Justin Reed said he started to feel completely comfortable in the Chiefs' defense roughly a week or two after the Bengals game in the regular season. That's mid-December. LOL, holy smokes, Spags' defense is complex, Justin said. There is a bit of a steeper learning curve here. That's exactly what Adam was saying. You're talking about later on in the season. I had seen back in June where Justin Reed was talking about he finally got a glimpse of what he's supposed to be doing in that defense later on in the season. And I think it coincided with his IDP production. Exactly what you're saying. I saw Juan Thornhill with a pick, I think, last week for the Browns. But Justin Reed, look what a couple years into the Texans defense did for Justin Reed. I think he was maybe the DB1.
He was high. He had some good finishes.
He had a ton of tackles one of those seasons, I know in particular. But yeah, Justin Reed, man, I have loved Justin Reed for the last couple years and have kind of been paying attention to what he is, what he's capable of as he's kind of reintroduced himself back into the the NFL fold and been on the Chiefs for a couple years now. I love that one, Addy. That's one of my favorites right now.
Just not a lot of big plays last year.
Yeah.
We talk about when players go crazy with the INTs or sacks, they're going to regress. Well, he didn't really have a lot of big plays fall his way, right? Just 83 tackles and 1 sack, no picks. So the ball may bounce his way a few times this year. You know?
Pun intended.
I wanted to see if I had any exposure. I do have a Justin Reed share, so there we go. I remember looking at him in some of these late best balls and being like, if he's still there, when I'm coming back around shopping for DB, I'm getting me one of them.
He was my most drafted safety. I had
really
50%.
Wow, look at you. Well, let's talk about my most rostered safety. That is my next flag plant, and we are going to Baltimore to talk about Kyle Hamilton. I am flag planting Kyle Hamilton top 3 safety in 2023. Let me make the case. All right, safety. Guys, it's a little bit of a mess right now. You have King Derwin. He's safety 1, obviously, until proven otherwise. But Jeremy Chin, not playing in the preseason. Budda Baker, trade rumors continue to swirl amid a flurry of changes in Arizona. Talanoa Hufanga, faded down the stretch after a hot start. Jalen Petre and Jaquan Brisker, prime regression candidates after their teams upgraded their linebacker rooms. It's easy to make a downside case for a lot of safeties, but it's hard to make anything but an upside case for Hamilton. We all know about the draft capital, 14th pick in last year's draft, the size, 6'4", 220 pounds, and the RAS, 9.34. But did you know that, including the postseason, he was PFF's #1 graded safety? That's right. The underwhelming rookie was awesome in 2022. The problem was simply opportunity. Hamilton played almost exactly half as many snaps as Chuck Clark, and yet he scored just 3 fewer points than Chuck Clark by Big 3 scoring. Let's take a closer look at the numbers. Sweet spot percentage, 81.2%. That was 11th in the league for DBs. Points per game to finish the season. We talked about finishing strong with Justin Reed. 5.6 points per game weeks 1 through 9, jumped up to 10.7 weeks 10 through 18. So almost doubled his points per game. Last time we saw him on the field, 14.2 points versus the Bengals. Chuck Clark, gone. The team did nothing to replace him. This is very clearly Kyle Hamilton's role after the team slowly increased his workload late in 2022, and he is paired with the perfect deep safety in Marcus Williams, who only had 27.6% of his snaps in the sweet spot. Hamilton is that one safety, I've mentioned this before, that I will reach for in best ball drafts. He's my most rostered safety behind the GOAT, Rodney McLeod, and alongside Derek Forrest. Top 3 might honestly be low. If everything comes together, he could be safety 1. Kyle Hamilton, top 3, boys. Let's ride. Woo! I'm bringing some spicy boys. We are always surprised by how some of these end of the year finishes come together. So give me the guy where the stars are all aligning for 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, it goes against everything I believe in to, try and take a defensive back high.
Yep.
Like you talk about doing.
Yep.
So that does kind of.
Does rankle you a little bit?
I don't like that.
All right.
But I do respect it.
I don't like it. I love it.
I respect it. It's a good call, and I do. I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I think I have Hamilton as safety 3. In Dynasty.
He is going at 82 overall by ADP.
Yeah.
So, that is around that. I'll tell you what, it's right around that nice linebacker run.
Yeah.
So it's like if you wanted to snag Hamilton there, you can come back around in the next round and still get you DeMario Davis, Quincy Williams, Shaq Thompson, David Long, Asamoah. I mean, a lot of these guys that we love as late linebacker targets. So I don't think he's a safety 9. So I think the market is still a little bit like wait and see.
Yeah.
With Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I'd say in your leagues with people like us, he's going to be much more of a value.
He could be outside the top 12.
Right, because he hasn't done it yet.
More casual leagues.
So
7.8 points per game in 2022.
Yep.
Not going to be on a ton of people's radar if you're not listening to this show.
That's right.
Yep.
All right.
Be out there for free.
Top 3, Kyle Hamilton. Bobo, take us home with your final flag plant.
So mine's not as spicy. I don't really have the big narrative for this one or anything. I couldn't really come up with a whole lot, to be honest with you. But y'all are going to hate this one. So.
Oh, my God. What could this one possibly be?
Jaquan Brisker is going to be the safety 1 in 2023.
Is that really what it is?
It's 100%
oh
what
my
it is.
God.
I just disagree with a little bit of what you're saying. Like, if you love Kyle Hamilton because you think that he's due for, a little bit of a bump in play or a bump in his points per game, I agree. I mean, that's going to come 7 points per game. You're probably hoping for more than that. But, I mean, look at Jaquan Brisker. Look at what he did last season. You're basically looking at 12.1 points per game for Jaquan Brisker. Essentially the same type of player as Kyle Hamilton, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people that's going to differ from that, but in my opinion, 67 PFF grade last season. He had draft capital in the 2nd round. A little bit different than Kyle Hamilton. I know Kyle Hamilton was a first rounder, but what you're saying, though, Josh, as far as Jaquan Brisker due for a regression, the only reason that we're seeing him as due for regression is because of now all of a sudden there is TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds in front of him. Why are we acting like these are Matt Milano and Bobby Wagner? Like, yes, they're heavily paid linebackers, but they're not that good of linebackers.
They are an improvement over Morrow and Sanborn.
Are they better than Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith?
Well, Hamilton did this with those 2 guys there already, and Chuck Clark in the building.
That's true.
So it's like the lane has cleared, whereas it's just become a little more muddy.
But we're all forgetting the darling of 2022 in Jack Sanborn. Mr. Sanborn was running around like a maniac stacking tackles up. Is Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards going to do that? They're certainly paid like they're going to, but I'm not so sure that they will. I just think that Jaquan Brisker, especially in Big 3 scoring, that rewards big plays like they need to be rewarded, Jaquan Brisker is going to have a lot of huge games. I mean, you look last season, I think he had 3 or 4 sacks just in his rookie year. You put him behind maybe some more competent linebackers. It's going to be a bad defensive line. But Jaquan Brisker, he hits hard. He's got good vision. He can get interceptions. He can sack the quarterback. 67 PFF grade in your rookie season as a safety. I don't know. I know that we're not doing this. I know we're not going down this road, down this avenue with Jaquan Brisker. If you're in best balls, if you're in redraft, you're not going to be able to get Brisker because he's going to be too high. I understand that. But if you're in Dynasty, and if you're really shallow at safety, if you're really shallow at DB and you've got a bunch of picks and you want to go throw a dart, an expensive dart on a guy to maybe get you top overall safety 1 potential, I really just love that for Jaquan Brisker in 2023. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong. Did
you start off this diatribe with I don't have a spicy one? Because naming a prime regression candidate as the safety 1
spicy.
Is pretty spicy. I can't get behind this one. I do respect it because I know you love Jaquan Brisker. I still think he's going to be good.
But is your reasoning for prime regression because they signed 2 linebackers?
Yeah, I just think the tackle opportunity is going to go way down. I just think these are 2 highly efficient, especially Edwards. All Edwards does is rack up like a 15% tackle.
But they had Roquan for half the year, and he was still fine.
Well, I mean, then you had Nicholas Morrow and Jack Sanborn, who I just checked the news. I wanted to see if Jack Sanborn got cut. He didn't, as far as I can tell, but every single story is, Panay Sewell or Rigatoni Sewell is pushing Jack Sanborn for his starting Sam job. So
I understand the I understand the regression maybe for Brisker. I can understand maybe preaching that. But if you're preaching that, then you also can't say that Kyle Hamilton is going to take a step. Because if he had averaged 12 points per game last year, then we would be saying that he is due for regression. Am I wrong?
yes, you are wrong. I wanted to see 104.
I want to hear Adam's take on this one.
hate each other,
I wanna hear Adam's
I'm
take.
just here in the middle, scared.
He is scared. He's always scared. 104 combined tackles, 4 sacks, 1 INT. Okay, so let's just set the over-under at 100 tackles. 100 combined tackles.
Over
100 combined tackles for Jaquan Brisker, Eddie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
how many sacks?
1 or 2,
Okay.
Yeah.
How many picks?
3 or 4.
I mean, he had 1
We're
last
talking.
year.
We're both talking up DBs, Adam. He don't care.
Yeah.
He don't
Are
care.
you just planted a DB.
Adam's trying to tell us about.
Yeah, but it was Justin Reed.
Yeah.
What's the difference between y'all?
I know. It's like he's going to finish as a human being who will still be alive at the end of the season.
I will
Maybe.
I will say going into this season, and I know you're probably the same, Josh, that I normally don't get starry-eyed about any safeties. I normally don't send out any offers. I normally play it pretty cool too. Man, Brisker, and I get Kyle Hamilton for the same reason, but Brisker is the type. Watching him on TV is just kind of the guy that you want on your squad. Don't go overpay for him. Please hear me say that.
He's drippy. Maybe the most drippy of the youngins.
Maybe.
I like his drip.
I would
No
rather
doubt.
probably have
Boost him.
Eddie Jackson and Kyler Gordon just because of the price.
You're
Brisker
done.
is still
Cut him off.
expensive.
Cut him off.
Brisker is still expensive.
So is Hamilton.
Not really. Let's see. Where is
Marcus Williams,
Is Brisker going?
Marlon
ahead?
Humphrey.
Marcus Peters.
Yeah, he's safety 5, y'all. He's like 13 picks by ADP ahead of Kyle Hamilton. That's wild to me. I think the market has that totally
Because he
wrong.
scored more.
Exactly.
12.1
It's
versus
recency
7.
bias. It's recency bias. We'll see. Let's do some kind of bet. Let's do some kind of bet.
No. Break it for us. Who scores more in 2023, Hamilton or Brisker?
Kind of like Brisker.
Boy, I
Yes,
cannot
sir.
wait for y'all both to be wrong.
Listen, I like them both. It's like I don't care. It's like I like one to finish as 2, one to finish as 3. They're both great. I mean, I wish both of them well.
gonna
Wish both of them well.
I'm not
This
gonna be.
guy hates safety.
I'm not gonna be relying on them.
A lot of
I'm
what-
not gonna have them.
A lot of what this is probably our love for Evan Ronda and Jake Colhagen. They've got the love for both the guys. I don't know. It's just something that's been on my mind for the last couple
No, I
months.
just genuinely think we have the next Derwin James and Kyle Hamilton taken 14th overall, and the team did nothing but ship off the guy in front of him. I mean, we'll see. 81% of snaps in the sweet spot. I
That's
don't
a
think
fun
it's.
one. I like
I
it.
don't think it's that high.
I like them both.
I
I,
think
like,
he's-
I like both these safeties.
Trenton Simpson gonna be playing, running around.
Jaquan Brisker, safety 1 though, boys. That is that's spicy, Bobo.
What was
All right.
yours? Yours was top 3.
Top 3. Yeah, I mean, I think Derwin's still in the mix, and
His
there
was
there will
Cayenne,
be
mine was
Yeah.
Ghost Pepper.
there'll be someone in there that we
Last year it was a Petre.
yeah there'll be someone that jumps up.
Derwin 2.
You have
Yeah.
Petre safety 2 in your ranks. You have Hamilton safety 3. You have Brisker safety 4, and then another guy I really like as well because I feel like he's getting buried to some extent is Antoine Winfield safety 5.
Yeah.
Some of these best
They're
balls.
damn good right
Yeah.
there.
Some of these best balls, Antoine Winfield is kind of fallen to some extent. You can kind of grab
yeah,
him.
you're like
Yes.
12th round.
I
Oh,
like
what's
your
he doing
I
here?
like it. I like your Hamilton take. I saw it and I was like, I got to get just as spicy. So
There you go.
Those are the mix of the safeties. I mean, if I had to pay
Yeah.
up, I mean that's the mix I want. You know.
and it hasn't
But
felt like
not gonna
there's
pay it.
been anybody in a while who could maybe dethrone Derwin James.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anybody's going to,
Yeah.
but
he's a
somebody's
candidate.
going to.
It's in-
Canningham's a- yeah.
Yeah,
good candidate.
it's in his range of outcomes as soon as this year to make that happen. So, again, we know this guy's good. PFF's #1 graded safety. This is not like a lost in the sauce, just happened to rack up a bunch of tackles or big plays or whatever. This dude is legit good.
He's 6'4" as
Yeah,
well.
220.
Here we are.
Built like a
Back
linebacker.
on Hamilton.
Yeah, starry-eyed. All right. Addy, you got a bunch of little mini flags, so hit us with
right.
some of your rapid-fire takes.
That's right. Want to give the people their money's worth. So let's do some rapid fire takes. Ed Oliver breaks out and becomes a top 5 DT in Dynasty.
I could see that. A lot of older DTs.
Khalil Mack and Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones.
Oh, Candler.
Khalil Mack and Chandler Jones both bounce back. 10-plus sack seasons. Chandler Jones finishes inside the top 36. Khalil Mack finishes inside the top 20.
Okay.
All right, we got some cornerback love from my boy Johnny here. Kyler Gordon, Alante Taylor, Cam Taylor-Britt, Byron Murphy all finish inside the top 24 for cornerback.
Wow. I love the Alante Taylor. Got a lot of Alante Taylor.
Yeah, I think he's the most drafted corner.
Kyler Gordon as well. Love the Kyler Gordon call.
And then Byron Murphy, another guy that's going super late. He's going to be the cornerback one there in mini. And then Cam Taylor-Britt, another guy we like a lot, could probably play the slot there in Cincinnati. But young guys, you're always looking for the next L'Jarius Sneed, Kenny Moore type, right? I think these are the candidates, really.
Yeah, with the cornerbacks, you just want guys who are going to be on the field.
Yep.
Guys who are going to be playing.
L'Jarius Sneed's hurt right now, too, by the way, since you said his name. I don't think he's been at training camp yet.
He missed like 13 or 14 straight training camp practices. Something to monitor.
One little note on L'Jarius Sneed. A lot of people want to go ahead and crown Trent McDuffie just because he may get the slot usage. Trent McDuffie ain't L'Jarius Sneed, folks. So, I mean, that doesn't always translate. You know, I know the role is profitable there in KC, but L'Jarius Sneed is a dog.
It's
He
also
just needs to be healthy.
It's also
Yes.
really
I'm a little worried.
dangerous to change the guy's role for 2023 just based off of a couple games in 2022.
Right.
We don't know what that coaching scheme was really looking for in those couple games. So, yeah, I agree, Addy.
All right, another one. Bradley Chubb hits double-digit sacks for the first time since his rookie year. Did you realize that? 2018, the last time he hit?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he's been banged up a lot, so
Yeah.
it's not a huge shock. But still, I would have thought he had another one in there.
Yeah, I'm calling top 24 finish. Julian Love repeats again as a top 12 safety there in Seattle.
Love that.
Ryan Neal finishes as a top 20 safety.
I could see him inside the top like 6 or 7.
Love Ryan Neal.
Yep.
Another one of those guys that's going like in the DB 30 range, which is just absurd. Which is why you don't take a K Ham or a Petrie.
Yeah, he's safety 27, DB 33. Ryan Neal.
Dumb. Arden Key has a career year over 8 sacks.
I love that.
Cam Hayward finishes top 4 for the 10th year in a row.
Yeah. That one just feels like a shoe-in. That just feels like, let me get a gimme in here.
That was the layup.
Yeah.
Kayvon and Will Anderson both hit 11 sacks.
Let's go.
Jalen Phillips over 13 sacks.
Let's go. If Jalen Phillips hits 13 sacks, that may be your IDP 1 for the season.
Yeah, could be.
I think if we've talked about kind of the Max Crosby,
It would be, yeah. 'Cause,
right,
I mean,
kind of formula.
he'd have to really get those tackle numbers up.
I agree.
Crosby did go insane. With that.
The playing time too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Crosby was 98% of snaps, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That would be a fun bet. I wish you could bet on like who will finish as the IDP 1 overall. Because who would you pick? I know it's scoring dependent, but like Parsons, Bosa,
It'd still be one
Garrett.
of those types.
Yeah,
TJ Watt.
That'd be a nice kind of longer shot bet
Yeah,
though
yeah,
with
yeah.
Jalen Phillips.
Absolutely.
I love those. So there you go, folks. You got your money's worth. I don't necessarily disagree or think any of those are like crazy off the wall.
Most of those guys are great values, though.
Yes.
I mean, if you're plugged in, if you're listening to the show, if you're in the ranks, like you're gonna find all these guys. Like if you were following along with the ranks, you had tons of Perriman, you had tons of all these guys to name pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean,
Alante Taylor.
Sure.
You name pretty much all my late DB targets.
Yeah.
I think I have multiple shares of all those guys.
I'm really just interested to see how the Seattle DBs shake out. Like who they play.
Yes.
They've got so many dudes there.
Yeah.
Julian Love, Jamal Adams is healthy, Quandre Diggs, even Kobe Bryant was playing a little bit of safety out of the cornerback spot in the preseason. So, man, if they've got some healthy players, that's a little bit of an embarrassment of riches there.
Yeah.
I love them, Addy.
All right. Take us home. Abo, this one's for you.
Yes, sir.
I know you'll love it. Let's go to Los Angeles, the flaming dumpster fire we mentioned a little bit earlier. But there are 2 bright spots on that team. We talked about Ernest Jones. Let's talk about the other guy. It's Aaron Donald. I'm calling for a DT1 finish. Now, DT, we've talked about it a lot this offseason, is so rich in terms of guys that you could make a strong top 5 case for this coming season. I'm not going to build a historical case for Aaron Donald. We know who this guy is. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like Devondre Campbell, he was banged up in 2022, only played 11 games. Thankfully, the injuries, they were not serious. It was a foot sprain in week 5 and a high ankle sprain in week 12. But with the Rams spiraling, there was no need to rush Donald back. And now he is going as the DL12. He was the DL4 in 2021, 17.3 points per game that season. He had scored almost 20 points more total than the second highest D tackle, Cam Hayward. So even after missing 6 games, Donald finished as the DT16 in 2022. The man missed 6 games, y'all. Had he played every game, his points per game pace of 13.3 would have made him D tackle 4 behind Chris Jones, Quinnen Williams, and Deron Payne. The biggest threat to the DT1 crown, I think, for this season, it's Big Q. We've seen him on Hard Knocks. This dude is lovable. He is newly paid. We all love him for this season. He is the DT1 and DL11, just ahead of Donald for a reason. He's on the way up after putting up 15.9 points per game in 2022, and we love the additions they've made along that defensive line. But I'm comfortable placing my bet on the guy who's done it this many times before. He wasn't just D-tackle 1 in 2021. He was D-tackle 1 in 2020. He was D-tackle 2 in 2019, missing out on the top spot by 1.9 points to Cam Hayward. Donald isn't high on my exposure list just because he is a steal at pick 208 by ADP. He's high on my exposure list because he has a case to be the 101 given his track record. He balled out. We're going to lose him, guys. He's balled out on good teams, 2021 when they won the Super Bowl, and on teams with so-so talent around him, 2020 and 2019. The Rams are hot garbage this year. How will AD respond? I think by sending a loud and clear message. I'm still the best defensive player in the game, y'all. Aaron Donald, D-tackle 1, please and thank you.
I love it. I love it. I feel like, he's one of the greatest players of all time.
Truly.
And players that are great have pride. And I think AD is probably, I don't know, he probably sat back last year and probably listened to people say, oh, Q's the best DT now. Chris Jones is the best DT now.
All these D tackles getting paid.
Yep.
Nobody talking about Aaron Donald. That team's bad. Oh, AD might retire.
Yeah.
I
feel like he's going to remind us.
Yep. It just feels like that kind of season is coming, Bobo. He's done. Not the only thing that we're not a team this bad.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's true. He could be getting quadruple teamed.
Yes, they may be the whole defensive line. Maybe Michael Hecht is the guy we want there.
Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Ed Reed, Deion Sanders, Dick Butkus, Ronnie Lott, Ray Lewis, Joe Green, Aaron Donald. 9 great defensive players. You can't tell me that Aaron Donald doesn't belong in the same category as any of those guys.
Think you could make a case for him at like 3?
Sure.
Like top 3?
Sure.
All time with LT?
Is he the greatest defensive player of the last 15 years?
So you probably put J.J. Watt in that conversation as well.
Yeah, of course.
For me, I think probably would lean AD. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's him and Watt. 2 walk-in first ballot Hall of Famers.
AD does have a ring too.
Strahan?
Yes, he does.
Strahan?
No.
I don't think so.
Not because he had the sack record?
He was awesome.
Yeah.
But AD is a whole
unbelievable.
Yeah. And especially to do it at his size. That's the thing. This wasn't
from the interior.
Yeah, this wasn't a guy that was like, built like the, 6'5",
Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, he's not like a Greek god.
So here's my thing. What are the odds that Aaron Donald finishes the season with Los Angeles?
That's a good question. I think if this team is going... Now, here's the thing I will say. Los Angeles is a hot mess right now, but I think they're going to be in the running for Caleb Williams or Drake May. I think they're going to be in the running for one of these top quarterbacks, and I think McVay's plan, let's suck this year. Let's see what these rookies look like, and then let's ride into next season. New rookie quarterback, like V2 of the Sean McVay-led Rams.
I don't disagree with that, but my question would be, is Aaron Donald along for that ride?
I think it is a coin flip. I will admit maybe this team's got like 3 wins in November, and super, before the trade deadline. The trade deadline's Halloween, so it's easy to remember this year. So maybe they're got 2 or 3 wins mid-October. Teams come calling. I could definitely see it.
What's Aaron Donald?
100%.
What's Aaron Donald worth come mid-November in the NFL?
Oh boy, that's a good question.
Oh man,
Second
I
rounder.
feel like a team would still give a first or second
Yeah.
for him.
So if the Rams want to restock the pantry,
If it's a contender, it'll be a late first or
If it's a
something.
contender and you get Aaron Donald for the rest of 23 and probably 24.
Yeah, if he's there for 2 years, it's worth it.
no brainer.
I mean, yeah, it's you're assuming that they're like
Yeah.
they're there, like
Yeah.
they're a piece away.
There was
Yep.
just enough of the weird, like, kind of trade discussion conversation in the offseason. And I feel like McVay knows 2 things. I feel like he knows what his plan is for a coach. Like, I know he's got to either think, like, when Stafford's gone, I'm out of here. I'm going to NBC or Amazon or whoever offered him that crazy deal. Or he's willing to stick through another one of these reclamation projects with Caleb Williams and kind of go through another little 3 to 4 year cycle. I feel like he also knows how much longer Aaron Donald is going to play. I feel like really deep down, if you were to ask McVay if he knew how many years McDonald's pretty cool.
Yeah, McDonald's is great.
I like this
yeah.
sausage McGriddles.
Yeah,
I
they're
had those
good.
in a while. That's like your
They're good.
protein and your caloric intake for the day.
Yeah, you're done after that.
Adam was talking about Will McDonald rising in the ranks. It's just it's in my
It's in your
head.
brain.
McDonald's in the brain. But I feel like he really knows how much longer Aaron Donald is going to play, whether that's just this year.
I think the pitch is I really feel strongly that McVay is saddled up for a rebuild. He wants to come back 2024, new quarterback, and his pitch to Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald is, guys, just stick with me. Let's suck this year. We'll
Gosh.
get a new quarterback.
That's getting old, though. Cooper Kupp is kind of having
know,
a few
man.
little injury hiccups from time to time. Aaron Donald has been healthy his whole career until this last season.
They must not be getting the offers that they're looking for. I mean, because I feel like teams know where
Yeah.
that franchise
Yeah,
is.
they
Like,
need picks too. That's the thing. They don't have
Yes.
any picks. So could they cash out on Kupp or Donald? Yes, absolutely. But even if he goes to another team, it's going to be a contender. So I
yeah,
don't.
Where would he land? Where would
Oh.
you like to see him land?
A spicier pick would have been to say Aaron Donald will be the DT1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh my God!
Well, alongside Cam Hayward, that would be stupid.
I'm just trying to think of like a contending
Can you
team.
imagine?
Yeah, I'm trying because a lot of the contenders have good sort of interior defensive
Yeah,
guys. Like
I
I'm
mean,
thinking
like-
of like Miami. You got Christian Wilkins,
The
right?
Bills, but that'd be a fun tandem. Ed
Yeah, that
Oliver
would.
and Aaron Donald.
Von
and,
Miller
Yes.
there as well.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have Chris Jones, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Bengals, the Bengals don't make big trades like that though.
Yeah, but that would be a great spot for him.
The Ravens,
Yeah, oh my
that could be
God.
so much
Oh my
fun.
God.
Drop Aaron Donald onto that team.
I think the Ravens could win the Super Bowl this year
Oh yeah.
easily.
I might just run it back with I think I had the Bird Bowl. I
Yeah,
had the
there you go.
Ravens Eagles. I might run it back and just do Seahawks
Boy,
Ravens
if they
this
got
time.
AD, could you imagine?
Be sick, right?
Be
so-
pretty nice.
Wherever he ends up,
Seattle.
the team is not trading for him.
Oh my God.
I could see that too. Drop him. They're not dropping him onto that line to play like 60% of snaps.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
saying AD just go create havoc.
Yep.
But drop him into a better situation along an underrated Seattle defensive line where he actually has help. That's an arrow up situation.
And Josh, this is spicy from the standpoint of he does not have any help this year.
Yeah.
AD's going to have a long
Put on the Superman
He's
cape.
going to have a long season. If the Rams are going to succeed, if they're going to do well at all, man, AD's going to have to reach down into a he's going to have to grab a different gear
Yeah.
that he didn't really think
He's
had.
going to have to go back to like 2021 for him.
Can they
Oh,
just,
none of those players in that locker room on the defensive side have any business being in that same place. as Aaron
No.
Donald. Like that dude is.
they're like, no offense if any of y'all are listening, but y'all are practice squad guys.
Yes.
They're
If
not
you're
worth-
worst
they're not-
defense in the league.
By
One of the worst
far.
defenses I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
rolling
Maybe
out-
since we've been doing
Like an
this.
expansion team.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad it is.
I agree with what you said earlier. Like AD, Ernest Jones, John Johnson, maybe Jordan Fuller if you're just really reaching down deep in your bag
Those
of
are your
tricks.
top
but
4 defenders.
that's
Yikes.
all. That's all you got.
That's bad.
That's it.
Yeah.
All
But
right, y'all.
that's a great one, Joshy. I love it.
AD,
I like it.
D tackle 1. So there you go. Our flag plants for 2023. The season, boys, it's almost here. We are so close. You're going to have this episode. Like I said, by the time you're hearing this, We are about 3 days out from football and about 2 days out from Jake and Evan previewing week 1. So head over to the idpshow.com, become a paid supporter, get those start-sit questions in the Q&A thread that we're going to be sending out, and we're going to get you ready. Jace's ranks will be up Tuesday before week 1. So, boys, it is here. We have been grinding and drafting all off-season. This kind of flag plant is like the champagne moment, I feel like, to kind of celebrate the culmination of a very long but fun off-season. So I'm excited to get rolling. We're going to be doing recaps, hopefully, Sunday night. So coming in, dropping it into your podcast feed for your Monday morning commute.
Say that again, Josh. What night was that?
Sunday night, recap. We're going to have it in your feed Monday morning, so it is hot and fresh out of the oven.
You ain't got to work. Just listen to us.
There you go.
Start the week off right.
We're going to get you right.
Work will be there on Tuesday.
You're for a leap.
We got TVs in here now.
That's right. There's a TV over there. Y'all can't even see it.
We're good. You know, we can do this whenever now.
Yeah, we'll have the Sunday night game on. Adam will be looking this direction. If you're wondering why, he's not just looking into the new light that's over there.
Yeah, audio won't be as good for me because
Yeah.
I'll be talking to the side of the microphone like that.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I'm going to have to reroute the microphone around to that side. But
Greatest big three TV live Sode Shack whatever appearance was the Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph fight live.
Wow, that's right.
We were trying to piece that together.
That's right. That was
Adam,
a lot of fun.
Adam read Adam Schefter's tweet, assault, period.
On the air. We were
Yes.
ahead of that.
You broke the news.
That's right.
That Schefter
I knew immediately that was a just outrageous tweet.
Yep.
It was funny immediately.
Gonna live in infamy. Gonna become a meme, essentially.
We were
Definitely did.
really struggling to try to figure out what was going on.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't
Wild stuff.
envy those folks who have to do the breaking news, because that was tough trying to piece together that information. So, but anyways, y'all, the season is here. We are so excited. TheIDPShow.com. Of course, we'll have the IDP show twice a week for you. We'll have 3 episodes of the after show. We'll have the IDP trade show cranking. By the time you all hear this, the first episode with the 3 of us will be live on YouTube, youtube.com/@theIDP show. We are going to be firing on all cylinders. So, boys, let's go watch some football. Let's go win some championships. What do you say?
Yes, sir. It's
All
an
right.
honor and a privilege.
That's right.
Here to serve you.
All right, y'all. These have been the 2023 Flag Plants. Enjoy the kickoff. Enjoy the football. And we'll see you guys for the week 1 recap. Y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.
It's the IDP show, now you know.